Well, I was at McGill University. I was in mathematics to start, and then I switched to commerce. And I think my second year, I was always in gym since I'm 14, 15. And I was sort of doing traditional martial arts at one place, kickboxing in another place, or kickboxing, boxing, and weights at a third gym. I thought, this is ridiculous. There should be one gym where we could do everything. I think it was 1989 or 90. Myself and two partners started talking about putting a gym together that had everything under one roof. So almost like a martial arts center. And at the time, in 1991, I think it was March of 91, we opened TriStar not far from here, on a street called Jean Talon. And we had about 7,000 square feet, and we had it sort of divvied up. There was a center area for boxing, which had the ring, the bags, and we had a floor area, a tatami, for traditional martial arts. And then we had about 1,500 square feet of weight equipment, treadmills, all that. And that's when it started.
Yeah, I remember first walking into the gym. It was a very intimidating place. The gym was smaller, and when you'd walk in, there was a lot of kickboxing. You know, kickboxing was very popular before the jiu-jitsu boom. Even after the jiu-jitsu boom, kickboxing was huge, Muay Thai was huge, and we were the first grapplers coming in. You know, we were the first guys, hey, there's grappling at TriStar, we want to learn grappling. Can we sign up for grappling? We were those first groups. I was really at the beginning, and as the jiu-jitsu program was growing. So we were a bit like the oddballs.
Now, when I first talked to people about the idea of having everything under one roof, sort of having different martial arts, sort of the common thing that everybody said was, that's impossible. That's not going to work because, you know, karate instructors, taekwondo instructors, they're going to talk bad about each other. There's going to be a lot of ego involved. It's going to be difficult to manage.
The fight world was actually very known, but it was a closed circuit. So guys that came out of Kyokushin, Budo Karate, guys that came out of kickboxing, guys that came out of Muay Thai, guys that came out of Jiu-Jitsu, we all kind of knew each other because we were like the outcasts that the average person didn't know about our lifestyle yet. You know, they looked at us as being aggressive, and you know, but at the end of the day, well, actually, you know, like people started to understand that we're martial artists, not barbarians. We're martial artists.
Keep your hands up, chin tucked in at all times.
My name is Master Peter. Wee and double, wee. I've been here in 1991 since the TriStar opened. I teach all people Muay Thai. I teach the whole striking class, like a Muay Thai class. I keep my knowledge to Canada.
TriStar had a good atmosphere because as we were doing our grappling stuff and the kickboxing class was going on, the kickboxers would be like, hey, do you guys want to spar? And we're like, spar grappler versus striker? Yeah, let's do it for fun.
You could have a boxer training with a Muay Thai guy. So you had a more variety of opponents and partners to train with. So that was good for us.
So we'd glove up with MMA, with boxing gloves, and we would take them down and wrestle. So it was just such a great place for MMA because you had grapplers and kickboxers, really with a good atmosphere, messing around with each other. And I had done zero kickboxing at that point. I just had a handful of jiu-jitsu classes. So of course it was very natural for us to train kickboxing. And the medley just was beautiful.
And then about, I can't remember when, we're talking 15 plus years ago, the MMA started to come in.
We were doing some underground MMA fights and stuff like that, and I competed in that as well. I won the lightweight Canadian Championship, I won the absolute Canadian Championship, but again, I was never thinking of going pro. The guys who were going pro in TriStar, the first few guys, you know, they were really, really considered extreme. Why? Because they were getting paid, I don't know, 800 bucks, maximum 1,000 bucks. I'm talking about early on. And they were doing something extremely dangerous, and they were preparing for months for it. And it was so unknown. You know, we were doing it on the Native Reserve where it's illegal, because fighting was illegal. When TriStar had an MMA program, actual MMA competition was illegal. They would have to go on the reserve, and we go to these shows, and it was just like, you know, these young kids were like, what are they getting into? You know, don't they want to go to school? These guys would drop out of school, train all day, and fight. And it was just, for me, it was too extreme, too much of a risk. And I preferred doing it for fun and learning to defend myself. So what happened was, the guys from TriStar just started winning.